What's going on, guys? Anthony from Chronometer Check here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some different field watches that are known to be some of the better, more affordable field watches and kind of pitting them up against each other. This idea was kind of all stemmed from the recent Seiko re-release of their Seiko 5 sports field watch models, which are really new. They're making waves, and I think they are absolutely phenomenal. But how well do they stack up against the competition that already exists? So that's what we're here to explore today, and I have quite a few options for you. There will be timestamps down below if there are particular watches that you're interested in. You can just skip around till your heart's content, and let's get into it. Quick wrist check, by the way. Today I'm wearing my Casio AE 1200 World Time Casio Royale because I'm secretly James Bond. So first up, this is a watch that maybe not many would have expected from me because I do tend to prefer mechanicals, but I do think this is a great entry-level watch for someone who may or may not even know if they like watches. You know, if your friend asks you, hey, I like this kind of field watch style, don't really know what watch to get, don't want to spend an arm and a leg, and also I don't even know if I like, mechanical watches yet, because that comes with its own complications. You do have to get it serviced eventually, and it will stop when you don't wear the watch for a little bit. And this does kind of turn off some newcomers to the hobby. And, maybe you yourself are just looking for a watch that you could throw on and doesn't need to be mechanical and you just want it. So this is a great option, very, very affordable. It's a Timex Expedition. It has Indiglo technology, which basically when you push down the crown, it lights up. Obviously, it's not the best, but it is a cool, nice little addition. And it's a watch you could beat up, not have to worry about it. And it looks very, very cool. It does even have this kind of cool gunmetal satin case. But what if you do want something that is still affordable, but this time mechanical? And here we have the Vostok Komandirskie, which I think is another really, really great option. It does have its downsides. It's definitely not without flaw. One, this very, very wobbly crown. It is hand wind mechanical only, so not mechanical and automatic. There are some Komandirskies that do have automatic movements, but this is not one of them, and especially these more affordable ones. But it does come in a huge variety of dial options and case options. You could really find a really fun piece that kind of fills a gap in your collection that you might not otherwise have filled with a certain color, or it's just something quirky, something really fun. I threw it on this little mesh bracelet just because why not? Like I said, it does have a few cons. The case is chrome plated brass, which is not the highest quality. Stainless steel is definitely a huge step up. The crown is flimsy, you have to hand wind it. The movement isn't all the best. The date doesn't have quick set, so if you are someone who really has OCD and you want the date accurate and you have a large collection of watches, you're going to have to change the date on this very painfully every single time you want to wear this watch. And honestly, when I wear this watch, I don't even bother setting the date. I'm a little too lazy. It's a whole process. You got to go back and forth, I think between 9 and 3, and keep going back and forth each time for one day. And for me, the amount of watches I have in rotation, not really worth it, because I'll wear this for a day or two, then I'm on to something else until I bring this out in another month. Still a cool watch though. Now, if you do step up your budget just a little bit, you have the Seiko 5, the original Seiko 5 SNK 809. There is some debate if this is a field watch type of watch. It could technically be considered a little bit more of like a pilot Flieger watch. It does have a lot more design cues aligned with that, but some do often classify it as a field watch, so I'm just including it in this comparison for that reason. Very, very cool satin brush case, under $100 for the most part. I really like the white hands and then the white second hand with the red painted tip. I think that offers something a little bit different, a little bit unique, and it has a very glossy black dial. Also does come in quite a few colors, so you could really kind of have your fun. Again, sort of like I said about the Vostok Komandirskie, you could really kind of pick something that fills a gap in your collection. I think there's a red dial, blue, a cream, obviously the black, and an olive green. I do have it on this really cool olive green strap. I will throw the link in the description below, as well as for the rest of these pieces. Next up, we have the real beauty, and honestly, one of my favorites as of recent. This is from the new Seiko 5 Sports Field Watch line, and I think this watch is an absolute home run. I think, honestly, this competes with the tried and true Hamilton Khaki field. I think this is just a super cool watch. I think it's functional. I think it's very legible. I love the faux patina on this particular version. I'll put the reference in the description below. I can't keep track off the top of my head. I think Seiko actually did a really good job and landed this at a very, very nice price point. Obviously, it would have been nice if it was sub $100 like the previous Seiko 5 Sports models, but even at $220, I think it's a very, very solid value proposition and really competes to some extent with the likes of the entry-level Hamilton. Maybe not as good of a movement. It does have the Seiko in-house 4R15, I believe. Seiko in-house movement, hacking, hand winding. Maybe not up to snuff with, with the Paramatic 80 Swiss movement in here, but very, very good movement nonetheless. Workhorse movement, hacking, and hand winding, basically everything you could want. The QC on this watch is quite good. It's very, very reliable, very robust. Not quite up to military spec, as many of these watches aren't. Even the Hamilton Khaki Field isn't quite up to military specifications, but that's okay. It's still an awesome watch. You can really have your fun mixing and matching different straps on this thing. I've just kept it on the stock Khaki strap because I think it just works so well with the faux patina. And obviously the case is very, very cool. We see it is a slightly different finish, a little bit more refined than the SNK 809, and like I said, I think Seiko really hit a home run with this one. And finally, if you are willing to spend a little bit more, you do get a technically better watch. I think the movement in the Hamilton Khakis are definitely better. I think the overall build quality is a little bit better. It's a little bit more refined. The case finishing is really, really nice, really there. You know, when you do wear this watch, you kind of get the sense that you're wearing a premium watch without a premium price tag. And I think that's one of the things that has made the Hamilton Khaki such a recognized piece for so long, aside from the established brand heritage of Hamilton themselves. But it's just a really, really nice piece. And when you see it in person, when you have it in your hand, I think it really is very, very apparent right off the bat. I did throw on a third-party strap code Oyster bracelet. Fun fact, the Seiko Sarb Alpinist Sarb 017 bracelet actually fits this Hamilton Khaki near perfectly. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I mean it's as close as you could get without even recognizing that it's not a bracelet meant for this watch. And it, you know, strap code even sells it saying that if it's the Hamilton Khaki, and it really does, really, really works well. Slightly different design cues than the Seiko 5 Sports Field Watch. This one obviously has brushed and polished finish, where this is kind of like an all matte. I think bead blasted finish, a little bit more low key, but I think this works a little bit more for an everyday kind of watch where, you know, whether you want to dress it up or dress it down. Whereas this is just straight up a little more casual to me, just, you know, dress it down, and it's really, really good for that, but maybe not something you're going to get the full use out of depending on what you wear. If you wear business attire, not that you couldn't, you definitely can get away with it with this, but just, you know, for the average person, speaking in huge generalizations here. Other than that, other than the movement, the design cues, I mean, the dial is very, very different. This one, again, sort of like the overall case finish, the dial has a little bit more bling to it. It has a textured dial that is double ringed with a sunburst in the middle, and then sort of ring texture around it, and then another ring around it with another texture. And it really contrasts nicely, adds a little bit of shine and sparkle in the light, whereas this one's kind of like a matte black dark charcoal maybe, and it's just kind of a little more static, but it is really cool in the sense that it kind of matches with the case in that regard, flies under the radar. All very, very cool watches. It just depends on your budget, your aesthetic you're going for, etc. I don't really think you go wrong with any of these. I'll have the links. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite field watch on a budget is. Also, let me know if you have any of these. I will put the link in the description for all of these in the description below. And with that said, thanks for watching. Have a good one.